Hey guys, today we are doing no witnesses from the Murky Station heist. This actually came in as a request from a viewer. Hey pleb, next time do the no witnesses achievement solo for Murky Station. Wow, looking at this I can't tell if it's a guide or a challenge request. Either way, I actually did it solo on Death Wish before the 1 down update. And I did it again on 1 down for this video, both with no DLC. Also, this achievement is very similar to Blood in the Water from the Yacht Heist, except we can't use ECMs. So we're going to cover the requirements, look at the strategy, and then of course, gameplay clips at the end as usual. Time skips are in the description if you want to skip ahead, especially if you're here just to see how I did it. Okay, so the requirements for this. We have to end the mission with all guards dead. This has to be done on at least overkill, and we can't use ECMs. It's kind of an odd programming right there, because you can still bring them, but you just can't use them. So just to be safe, don't bring them. And based on the name of the achievement, I actually would expect the civilians to be part of it, but nah, they are not. Okay, so we can do this higher than overkill if we want a challenge, but here's a few reasons not to. Point of no return timer is shorter. 25 seconds on overkill, 20 on mayhem, and 15 on Death Wish and 1 down. There is an extra guard on mayhem plus, not to mention they have extra health as well. So yep, pick your poison. So let's know the enemies first. I'm going to skip the basement as the guard positions there are very straightforward. So looking here, we have an overview of the train yard. These are the guard routes, and I've numbered them because we are going to refer back here later. 2 quick notes. Guard number 8 is only on Mayhem Plus. And next, although the routes look like that, in reality guards choose waypoints only if they are available. So you will never find 2 guards standing at the same place. Take guard number 5 for example. Although his route is one big round around the center trains, in reality he patrols mostly on the right to lower right repeatedly, because guards 4 and 7 might already be using some of those waypoints. The same goes for guard number 8. So here's a few general strategies, starting with the important ones. Activate the escape first. Well, if that wasn't obvious enough. Depending on the escape, van or boat, our strategy might change a little. Start or run when the drones are inactive. This prevents breaking stealth prematurely. Bots won't really help out, even when stealth breaks, so no bots. Weapons wise, we would want to be able to sprint and fire. I recommend shotguns for easy point and click, and DMRs or snipers for long range. Far away from the shotgun tree is also recommended. For overkill, any 40 damage weapons can one hit shot and alerted Murky. For 1 down however, we might have to spec into some damage skills. Stay away from explosive weapons though. Just like the drones, we don't want to go loud prematurely. This also means that trip mines are out of the picture. Besides, it's hard to set up kills with trip mines when the guard movements are so erratic. And for last, if you have trouble keeping track of the number of guards alive, feel free to use a hard mod to assist you. Okay, let's do the multiplayer strat first. With multiple players, we have much more flexibility in our execution. So with that, I'm going to devise a strategy with 0 pages spent, then you guys can tweak it as you like. For the basement, you can either spend pages on the 3 guards, or leave 1 player here to clear them out before running straight for the escape. Personally, I'll still prefer using the pages here, as the cameras either spot the body earlier than we'll want to, or waste our time breaking them. For the train yard, it can be divided up. so more ground can be covered in shorter time. For example, one player can take charge of the top left where guards 6 and 7 will be, with 1 and 8 occasionally in the area. Another player can then take the top right for guards 4 and 5. One last player can then clear the bottom, where guards 2 and 3 will always be, and occasionally 1, 8 and 5. So on signal, all players clear out their share of guards and then run straight for the escape. Pretty straightforward stuff for multiplayer, just mostly coordination and practice. As for solo strategy, there are a couple more restrictions imposed. We do not have enough time to cover both the basement and train yard, so 3 pages will be spent on the basement, while for the last I usually spend it on guard number 3, as he tends to be hidden from view in the lower right corner. Even so, with 4 guards down, it is a very tough plan to execute. There isn't enough time to run through the entire train yard and then to the escape. So I'll require my secret helpers, and they are sentries! Okay, so I kept quiet about this earlier because this is my trade secret. So whatever you're learning here can be applied in the multiplayer strategy. So sentries can be used as insurance to cover a small area, which makes it superior to trip mines. The downside is that we can't really tell if a guard is taken up, other than via hard mods or the outline of the ammo box drop, which can be really hard to see if they are far. And how does sentries work in stealth? They only fire on enemies that are alerted, so the best places to put them are in spots where they can't normally be seen and yet still can fire. Like the railings overhead or under the trains, which is exactly what we're going to do. So this is the specific spot where I'll place them, at the ends of the carriage where we'll see a red light, facing outwards of course. 4 sentries should be more than enough, but if we want to bring all 6 and not depend on an ammo bag, we'll need Echo Sentry Basic. We do have to make do with the remaining ammo for the final part of the plan though. I'll put my skill build link in the description if you guys want to check it out. But still, sentries are not the all-powerful deployable we are looking for. They can at most help to catch at least 1 Murky, or even 3 to 4 if you're lucky. But as always, let's not depend on luck, so let's try to clear as many as possible on our own. So that's the main part of the strategy, and here's where it splits. Depending on which escape we get, we'll proceed differently. With the boat escape, we'll have to employ a run and gun tactic, and we'll want to have the sentries cover the bottom as much as possible. So I'll usually place it like this. I'll start off by trying to catch guards 4 and 5 together in the top right, and then swing over to the top left and catch at least guards 6 and 7. And if possible, 1 and 8. Otherwise, 1, 8 and 2 will be left to the sentries at the bottom. After which, to the escape. For the escape van, we don't have much of a choice but to place ourselves in the sniper's position. For this, we can place 1 sentry each on every end of the cargo trains, in case some Murkies are out of sight. Then we start our sniping run when most of the Murkies are out in the open and in sight, and then wait for guard number 2 to be taken out by a sentry before we escape. Yep, so that's my strategy. Hope it helps some of you lone wolves out there. Stay tuned for 2 video clips, one for the solo boat escape and the other for the van. Note that for the van escape, I alerted 1 guard in the train yard and had to snipe guard number 3 instead. Alright, so this is Unknown Knight here, and I'll see you in my next video.
God, stay back. God on patrol. Watch out. Guard.
The murky water drains will be locked by some kind of security panel. We'll most likely have to hack them to get the doors open.
I thought I saw a burglar.